guys, this is Grace Laholan, and I'm making a video today on the best of all time book series, which is the Left Behind series, which I've totally had an impact on my life. So before we begin, I have this really cool series. I have like the first 11 in the series so far. Basically, there's only 2 I'm only missing 2, but before we begin, I heard people have been reading certain series, and people have read like certain series, but like, no way, my parents wouldn't allow me to read those. So I decided that tonight I would do the Left Behind series, which mostly is a good series. Okay, so before you get started, I want to introduce you to the cast and crew, but it's really important you know how many books there are. I heard online that they said there were 16, but I only had the first 11, and I have one more, which is on the shelf, and it is The Rising. No one has ever seen this on camera, but I have this as my own copy. I am really happy that I have the first 11 and The Rising, which is number 14 on the camera series. On this series, we have so much fun, and I am really excited to share you guys all this info, like totally basic information about it, but it's gonna be really good. Mostly let me make a review of how I formally want to introduce Left Behind number 1. I'm only introducing 1 through 9 today, but when I get back on camera in the next video, we'll be doing number 10 through 16. But we're doing 1 through 9. Aww. Okay, so my personal standpoint, Left Behind has given me impact, but number 1 has given me a very good impact. Okay, so I want to say that in Left Behind, which is book number 1, the rapture, which is occurring by Jesus Christ, and his church is gone like in an instant, and like only 5 main characters. I mean, there's only 4 in the first book, and they're trying to find the truth in the beginning. It's almost 7. It's gonna take 7 years to get through like a whole year. It's like a 7-year prophecy in one entire book series. But in book number 1, there's a lot going on. I would recommend this as a good reading source. For me, number 1 is a really good standpoint, but it's a 4 out of 5, which is a really good book. It's a really good reading book, standard. It's got 25 chapters. It's a really good book. And I have 1 through 9 tonight. This is the second book, Tribulation Force, which is really good. It's the second book in the series. I read it before. I have not read it twice, but I'm gonna do a little interview on it. And there's a lot of reviews on it. But I have this little thing that I'm going to read to you about, and it's really good. This is gonna be really good. And there's like same people, but different standpoint. They're all still trying to find everything. And it's a really good book. I would recommend all these, but I don't think I could talk that much because I've had a hard time tonight, and I'm thinking maybe I will just tell you the titles and give you the rating I give them. Okay, so for number 1, I give it a 4 out of 5. Number 2, which is Tribulation Force, I give it also a 4 out of 5. Nikolai, which is a good reading, I like it a 5 out of 5, which is mostly one of my favorite ones of all time. I really loved it. It's really good. And then number 4 on the lineup is Soul Harvest. Oh, I never wanted to let this one go. I was so engaged in this one. This is like the best book ever. If you ever read Soul Harvest, it's number 4. You should read 1 through 3 first before you read number 4. I actually read this kind of last year, but I started the series in 2016 and made my way through it so far. So far I'm on number 9, but I'm on my way to number 10. But I'm only on the second to last chapter, probably of number 9. Soul Harvest, which is number 4, is a really good one. You'll find a lot about it. You'll find out a lot about it online and stuff. I read this so much. It's like really good. It's like a really good one. And then after number 4 comes to number 5, which is Apollyon. Apollyon I've read a lot, and it's a really good book. If you're wanting to read Apollyon, you have to read numbers 1 through 4 first. And I would recommend this as a good one. Nikolai would be a 5 out of 5. Soul Harvest and it is also a 5 out of 5. Apollyon is also a 5 out of 5. I gave the next 3 after the first 2 a 5 out of 5. Apollyon is a really good reading source, and I would recommend it whoever wants it. And then we move on to number 6, which I know is Assassins, which I can't do much reviewing tonight, mostly because my voice is really sore. And this weekend, it's my spring break, and I'm only interviewing these books for only about a few minutes. Assassins is after number 5, which is number 6, which is a really good book. But I would say if you want to find out more about it, you can get a synopsis of all these books online. And I'm just going to say number 10 and 11, which is Armageddon and The Remnant. The Remnant is number 10, which I have not read yet. I will probably do a review on the last 2 I'm reading, probably when I get to the end of Armageddon and go into number 12, which is Glorious Appearing, which I've never read yet. But Assassins, I would give a 4 out of 5, mostly because I would mostly give it a 5 out of 5 because mostly one of the main characters gets to kill one of the antagonists of the series. And number 7, The Indwelling. I kind of took like a little bit of time to read this book. It took me like a while. The Indwelling was a really good reading source, mostly, but anyway, the antagonist, one of the main antagonists of the series, rose from the dead, just like Jesus Christ, but they think he's Jesus Christ, but he's not Jesus Christ. So The Indwelling mostly is after Assassins, which is really good. I loved it, and I would give it also a 4 out of 5. Mostly the first 2 and number 6 and number 7 are 4 out of 5. Okay, after number 7 is number 8, The Mark. The Mark mostly, it mostly takes a good portion, and it's like people receiving the mark of the beast, which is really what will happen close to the end of that book. And then on to number 9, which I am on right now, Desecration. I love reading it, but for the mark, I would give it also 4 out of 5. But right now, I'm getting close to the end of Desecration, which I'm so excited to finish. I have not finished the ending of Desecration yet, but I'm really excited. I'm so excited to finish Desecration. But, okay, here are the last 2 I have. Number 10, The Remnant. But I have not read that book yet. The last 2, numbers 10 and 11, I have not read yet. And number 11, Armageddon, which has not been read yet. I'm really excited to read The Remnant and Armageddon after I'm done with Desecration, which is almost a 5 out of 5, I would say. But in Desecration, you might find a new character in the film. They also have movies for it. But after I'm done with the book series review, I am going to make a film review, which mostly I have watched the first 3 major films. Maybe I can talk about the major top 3 films, which involves one of my favorite actors of all time, which I have, the 2000 set, which involves Kirk Cameron, one of the main stars of that film, which I love watching those movies. But I love those movies. So if you ever get the chance to read these, I would recommend you pick these up. I recommend these. And there's 3 main movies which were made in 2000, 2002, and 2005, which the first movie was in 2000, and the second movie, which is Tribulation Force, which basically takes place after the first movie. And then the third movie, which is called World at War, is in 2005, but the second movie is in 2002. So I think it's really good. Sorry. Sorry. Mainly I'm saying that the films and the books are really good, but you need to read the books first, kind of. But I mostly read 1 through 8 on number 9, but mostly I'll interview what I think about Desecration in the next video. What I thought about Desecration, I would say it's a 5 out of 5, but it might be a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 for me. This has been the greatest series of all time, which I mostly began after I finished reading 7th grade. In 7th grade, I started this series up with the first book in the Ever series. Mostly, I love the series. So far, I would give it a 5 out of 5 for my whole rating of it. But when I'm done reading it, I'll do like an end review, kind of like a really good end review. But maybe I'll do separate interviews with like a really good idea. But right now, I'm almost finished with Desecration. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned until the next viewing of the Left Behind series. I'm also going to be doing. Later on this year, I'm going to be doing a Left Behind takeover, which is going to be really good. We'll read like a few pages a night, and it's like going to be so exciting. But it's going to be a few parts for each chapter, but I know it's going to be really long, but it's going to be a really long session, so it's going to be like, there's like a lot of chapters in each of these, but it's going to be really good. And I hope you guys like this video. Recommend it to all your friends, family, all the Christians out there. This is mostly a series I would take really good reading sources. And I'll see you guys next time on Grace O'Holland's channel, which is really good. And Class of 21 of Tremont says goodbye for now until next time. 2021. Bye-bye.